Hey, sports fans, PB&Z Sports Chaos. We got lots to talk about. We got football, of course, but MLB is now heading to almost to the conference championships. We're still waiting on Game 5 in the AL, Detroit and the Guardians, and I believe you're liking Detroit.
Yeah, I'm liking Detroit, even though it's on the road. Plus, I think Detroit has a better chance of beating the Yankees. So, obviously, Yankees losing is almost as satisfying as the Red Sox winning. So, that's what I'm going for.
By the way, I'll just remind you, fans, last week, PB, we thought it was a 7 game series. We were wrong. It's 5 games, our fault. But he switched his pick. He took the Royals to beat the Yankees. So, Detroit, guess what? Don't be happy about him picking you. It's not a good sign. Yankees are going to steamroll. Hopefully, to play the Dodgers. But I guess I wouldn't mind seeing a little Subway Series either, right? Mets and Yankees. That could be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
Dodgers came back, though. They beat the Padres. They looked good with a 2-0 shutout last night. So, that looks good. All
yep.
right, let's talk a little football. Some news this week. First of all, Drake Maye is going to start for the Patriots. By the way, Patriots game last week, that touchdown that was taken away, if you could let one elbow count as 2 feet, two toes going to count as 2 feet. The heel has to hit in bounds is a stupid ass rule. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. And the other thing is, if you were the other way and your toes come in bounds, and then you fell forward and your shin lands out of bounds, it's considered in bounds because your toe is in bounds. You can drag your toe. But if it's the opposite way and you're facing backwards and you drop and you put your toes in, it doesn't count. Like, how does that make sense?
I, I don't get it. And by the way, I've seen millions of toe drags. Julio Jones in the Super Bowl, his heels didn't come down. That was not called on the sideline against the pass that time. So
Right. It's because he was facing his back was to the sideline
that's
or the
crazy.
back line versus his front, which I agree. I agree with you 100%. That would have been a nice little win for the Patriots had that happened. But man,
And by the way, Drake May, it's not going to change for them. I think he's going to be a talented kid. I think he should sit on the bench, especially behind that offensive line, which can't block you or I, for Christ's
right.
sakes.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. They're going to kill the kid.
Yeah, the
So,
offensive line is the weakness right now of that team. And like to your point, it doesn't matter what quarterback you put in there. If you don't have time to throw the ball or you can't establish a run game, you're not going to win. You're not going to win football games. So he might make some more, passes that Brissett maybe couldn't make.
right, right.
But is that reward versus the risk of him getting hurt badly?
Or mentally bad at like Mac Jones, or he just next year he can't even play because he's been so beat up, and the game just went right by him. So I don't,
Yeah.
I disagree with it totally. By the way, the other big news is Aaron Rodgers got his way, got his coach fired. I know he said he had nothing to do with that. Who believes that? No one in America believes that. Pat,
No
you
one.
had Aaron, you had all to do with that. By the way, you know the fall guy shouldn't have been on Salah. It really should have been on Nathaniel Hackett. They have the worst offense since 2021. I read this the other day. Every single stat, they're the last place in offense since 2021 in the NFL. We think the Pats offense is bad this year. Jets have been historically bad since 2021. Nathaniel Hackett, they did take away his offensive coordinator play calling duty. He's still the OC, but he can't call the plays. Go figure. I know that one blows my mind as well, right? Either he's the guy or he's not the guy. He should be out of there, I think, in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's like a package deal. Just get them all. You got to kind of start fresh. I don't agree with it at all. But
No. All right, let's talk about the games we're going to pick here. First one will be the Commanders Ravens. Last week, Commanders won again, right? Jaden Daniels looks like the offensive rookie of the year so far at this point in time. Ravens had a slugfest against Cincinnati. That game was just up and down the field. Burrow threw for almost 400 yards in that game. I mean, just phenomenal. Had 4 touchdowns, but Lamar did it once again. What do you think in this game? The Commanders against the Ravens.
yeah, and the Ravens are hot right now. They came out of the gate 0-2. They've won, three straight since then, right? So they're three and
Yep.
two now. And they're playing good football and they're at home. Washington is an interesting team. And I think back to our preview show when both me and G Money picked Washington to make the playoffs,
You
and you
did.
were
Yep.
blowing whistles and throwing flags and calling the show off and everything. And here we are. They're sitting atop the division at 4-1. So can they beat the Ravens? Yes. Can they beat them on the road? Maybe. But are they going to win this game? Probably not. I just think it's too much for Jaden Daniels to carry this team into Baltimore and get a W. I think they'll keep the game close and interesting. Should be a fun game, but at the end of the day, I got to take the Ravens.
By the way, little fun fact here. Lamar Jackson, 6-0 versus rookie quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson 21-1 versus the NFC in his career. So again, to me, it's slam dunk. It's the Ravens. By the way, the other thing, this is the third time since 1950, and I can't think of the other two matchups. Defending Heisman Trophy winner faces off against the defending MVP. So that should be a highlight game for sure. But I got Ravens. G Money's got Ravens.
The Ravens as well. Yeah. So we're
All
clean
right.
sweep there.
Let's
Yep.
move on to the Bucks Saints. The Saints started off the season on a roll, strong, 90-something plus points in 2 games. They've come crashing down to earth. They benched, well, Derek Carr got hurt last week in the Monday night game. Spencer Rattler, the guy that I said would be the starter next year on this team, is going to start this week. I'm kind of pumped to watch that. Having said that, what do you think of this game? The Bucks are solid.
Yeah, and on our preview show, I think I said I expect Spencer Rattler to be in there by week 4 or 5. So
There you
here we
go.
are, week 6, and he's in, but it's not because of the poor play of Carr, it's because of an injury.
Yep.
But albeit they're not going to Hannah. They brought in Jake Haener at the end of the last game. They obviously didn't see enough to keep Rattler out of this mix. So I like that he's in there. But and he's got some, interesting receivers, but he doesn't have that like go-to. He's probably going to have to rely on Olave a lot. They don't have like exceptional tight end play as a way out, check down type thing. Kamara
Yep.
could see a big game.
Could.
Obviously, he's going to be an easy person to check down to if you need to. But at the end of the day, Tampa Bay is playing some really good football, and I know it's on the road. I know it's in the dome in New
Yep.
Orleans, but I still think Baker Mayfield and company, everybody's pretty healthy, right? You got Mike Evans and you got Chris Godwin, both healthy. I think Rashad White will be out at running back, but hey, Bucky Irvin has shown us some pretty good stuff so far this year. So I'm not worried about that running game
Yeah.
with Bucky Irving, getting the bulk of the carries. So I'm going Bucks on this one.
I am as well. The passing game has been huge. It's still going to be with Godwin and Mike Evans, who I think are still two of the better tandem in the NFL. So I get the Bucks as well. What's G Money saying?
G Money has the Bucks too, so another sweep there.
All right, let's go out to Vegas. Pittsburgh plays Vegas, the Raiders. This used to be a rivalry game beyond all rivalry games back in the 70s and 80s when the Steelers and the Raiders played. Not the same with Aiden McDonald taking over the ship over in Vegas.
Yeah. O'Connell. Yeah.
O'Donnell, yeah.
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's I mean, him and Minshew are kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other to me. Adams is obviously not playing again, right? He's still gonna
Devontae's out, yeah. He probably will never play again in Oakland, Las Vegas.
Right, in Vegas. We don't know what's going on with Zamir White. Not that he's been doing anything special this year. I just don't think this team has the pieces to really compete against a Pittsburgh team that's reeling a little bit, actually, right? They started off 3-0. They've lost 2 in a row to go to 3-2. They lose again this week. They're back in the not even considered in the playoff hunt anymore, losing 3 straight, being 3-3, in my opinion. So this is a huge game for them. I think at the end of the day, there's more talent on that Pittsburgh side of the ball. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this one.
Interesting. Russell Wilson is healthy, but not going to start. They're going to stay with Justin Fields, but he is healthy. So Fields slumps it all in the first half. I would expect Wilson will probably play the second half. We'll see. I got Pittsburgh as well, coming off that loss to Dallas last week, which I didn't see, but I think that 90-minute rain delay at the beginning of the game didn't help either. So I see Pittsburgh winning this game. What's G Money got?
G Money has the Raiders. So that's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
All right.
By the way,
Cowboys, yes.
But I was gonna say, by the way, last week, right? PB 5-1, Z, you won 4-2, pretty good weeks. G Money was 1-5. We got to point that out. NFL, he struggled. He did well in college, but he struggled in the NFL.
All right, so we got Lions going to the Cowboys. Personally, the Cowboys got too many injuries. I can't see myself picking them on this one. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm picking the Lions. I mean, they got 4 starters. 3 of them are all pro caliber players, not playing on defense. I can't see them winning this game against the Lions, who are pretty healthy at the moment and rolling.
Yeah, and that's going to force Dallas to have to pass a lot, and we know that pass rush with Aiden Hutchinson is going to be fierce, and they're going to cause some problems there. Dallas's running game is average at best. right? So it's not like they can establish that ground game and kill, get time of possession and that kind of stuff. I don't
Yep.
see a roadmap for Dallas to win this game. So
No.
I got to go Detroit too. And Detroit could put up a lot of points. I'm looking at, mid to high 30s, maybe even getting into the 40s for Detroit.
And I know G Money's going to take Detroit because that's a Super Bowl team, right? So,
Yeah, kind of mine too, but yeah.
all right, let's go. Bengals versus what I think could be the third worst football team in the NFL. They have 2 wins, I get it, but the Giants are not good. They have a horrible roster. Their best wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, is out this game.
Yep.
Bengals are coming off a offensive showdown. I know they lost it to the Ravens, but I think they just simply roll over the Giants.
Yeah, I do too. And to your point, not having their best receiver, Neighbors is out, and then Singletary doesn't look like he's going to be able to play too. I don't think he practiced all week, or he had limited practice on.
That's right.
Yeah, he's in tough shape, so that means Tracy's going to lead the backfield. Now, Tracy did pretty well last week, but I don't know if he can sustain that. Yeah, I think it's Cincy's game easily. So all three of us have Cincy on that one.
Yep. All right. Bills go play those Jets. This game is going to prove Woody Johnson, he made the wrong move. It wasn't Saleh should have fired. It should have been the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who looked every bit his 39 years for sure, the last couple of games. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing here is the Bills' run defense is, I think, last in the league right now. They're not doing well there. And you have two very good running backs with Brees Hall and Braylon Allen has
Yep,
been no
yep.
slouch either. So is their RB2. Man, this is a tough one to call. It's in New York. I think the game probably means more for Buffalo than it
I
does
would
the
agree.
Jets.
I would agree.
And I'm for that reason I'm taking Buffalo. They gotta win this game and establish themselves in the division as that clear division leading team. And if they do win this week, I think they win. That's their ticket to the division title, in my opinion.
Yes.
So I'm going Buffalo. G Money has the Jets though.
Ooh, I don't see it, man. Not as long as Hackett's still part of the offense. All right,
All right.
let's head over to
So
college.
just for the record, I think you and I across the board this week, the same exact 6 picks. And last week we were pretty close. We were only different on a couple, but
Yeah, yeah.
we're all same the 6 here. G Money has 2 different than us.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
They'll probably lose those two. All right. Speaking of losing, last week, college football, five of the top 11 teams lost. We both went 0-4, first time ever on this show. And we've been doing this for about 6 years, that we both went over in college, shockingly. But when you got Alabama losing to Vanderbilt, which we did not pick because it was such a high line, and they still lost outright to Vandy, unbelievable. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Mizzou lost to A&M. I mean, the losses were unbelievable. USC lost to Minnesota. I can't even believe what happened last week. Miami almost lost. They came from behind 25 points down. Their biggest comeback, I was there since 1999 against BC up here at Chestnut Hill. So the Dolphins still remain undefeated. We're going
Hurricanes.
to pick some games. What's that?
Hurricanes.
Yeah, Hurricanes. Oh, geez, Dolphins. Yeah. No, the Hurricanes. I'm trying not to say hurricane because of Florida right now. I know it's a little touchy subject, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's pick a few of these games because there's some good ones today. We got a bunch of ranked versus ranked. We got Ole Miss #9 heading down to Baton Rouge to play at night, where it's considered one of the tougher places to play at nighttime down at LSU. Ole Miss is a 3.5-point favorite. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me points with LSU at home. I mean, I love LSU in this game. I think LSU can win the game outright. So I'm taking LSU.
You know what, PB? I had them originally circled till I heard it was a nighttime game, and I go, no way, forget it. I'm going LSU as well, especially getting the points, right?
Yeah, yeah, and G Money does too.
Okay. All right, here we go. Big Ten going out west again. Penn State, #4 in the country now after all those losses last week. I'm not sure they showed enough to me to be #4, but they're undefeated at the moment. They go to USC. USC, last time they beat a top 10 team was 2017. Guess who the opponent was?
Penn State.
Yes. Yes. Yes, go figure. By the way, the other big thing about this, Penn State is basically an East Coast school. Big Ten teams this year are 1-8 when traveling 2 or more time zones away. What do you think of this game? Penn State's a 4.5-point favorite.
I know it seems like a lot of points to get if you're USC at home, but USC's just been very, you don't know
Up
what
and
you're going to
down.
get. You don't know what you're going to get every week
Yep.
with them, and because of that inconsistency, I'm leaning Penn State in this one. I just don't know if I want to lay the 4.5. I think Penn State wins the game. They may end up winning this by a field goal or something, and then I'll lose my pick. But I'm going to stick with Penn State and hope they can win by 5 or more.
I'm sticking with my guns. I got USC. All those stats mean something, in my opinion. USC wins again against the top 5 team,
All
7 years
right.
later.
All right. And G Money has Penn State, so he's there with me on that one.
All right. The big game, number 2, Ohio State is at Oregon. Number 3, that's game day this week. They're live in Oregon. I'm watching it right now. Ohio State's a 3-point favorite. Here's a little fun fact for you as well. Oregon is 12-4 versus the top 10 at home. I don't know if that's all time, but I saw that stat someplace this morning. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. 12-4 at home versus top 10. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean I'm going back and forth here because I took LSU with the points at home, but then I took Penn State on the road, laying the points. Here's another situation where you have a home. So far, we've been dealing with home dogs all across the board, right?
Yep.
And Oregon to me is they're getting 3. They're at home. I just big stage for them. I just gotta. I'm taking Oregon. I'm not sure I'm gonna win this one, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Ohio State ends up taking this game. But I'm going with Oregon.
By the way, my pick was made just a little while ago on the game day show when the kicker for the second week in a row hits the 33-yard field goal and got McAfee's money, and he boomed it. He missed the first one, but it was kind of close. They let him kick a second one. And that kid would have hit that thing from 50, I think. Kick. So with that, I said, you know what? It's all Ducks today. I got Oregon win this one as well.
Okay.
Which Giga
G
Money
Money has
got?
Ohio State.
Oh, of course he does. He's a big Ohio State homer.
Yeah.
All right. The big one. The game I love this time of year, the Red River Rivalry. I don't think my Sooners are going to win this game, but they are getting 14.5 points against number 1 Texas. Quinn Ewers is coming back this week. I'm a little surprised by that. I know he sat out a couple weeks and he's healthy. Arch Manning looked well. I would have stayed with the hot quarterback maybe, but I get it. Quinn Ewers is considered a number 1 prospect. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, and this game's in Texas, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. The Texas State Fair.
Yeah. This is a tough one to pick. When they go right to that extra half a point on a 14-point spread,
Especially a 3-score game. It's a 3-touchdown game, basically.
It is, right? Or
3 scores,
17
two
maybe,
touchdowns
right?
and a field goal. Yeah.
But it's like bait. It's like they're trying to get you to take Oklahoma. Like, the books are trying to get you to take Oklahoma on this one. And I call them trap picks. I've picked against these traps all through the year. I've done pretty well with them. And I'm going to do it again. I know you're a big Sooner guy, but I think Texas blows them out. I can see this game being like 41 to 21 or something like that, or 41-17. So I'm taking Texas.
Rivalry game like this. By the way, Oklahoma's won 7 out of the last 9, and in 7 of those games, they were the underdog. 5 of them, they were the underdog. So guess what? I don't think they win. They definitely cover with 14.5. Give me the Sooners all the way.
All right. And G Money does too. So
Oh,
we'll
no,
see.
he took the Sooners?
He took the
But he,
Sooners.
but he was 4-0 last week, so he's on a little bit of a roll.
He was 4-0, and I have 2 the same as him. It looks like you have 2 the same as him this week. So we'll probably all end up splitting or something as we look through the week. But yeah.
Well, with a lot of half points in the spreads this week, we're not going to have a tie probably, so that's good.
Good. That is good.
Nice. All right, man. I'll talk to you. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Go Sooners.